Up next on the Tesla Plaid channel.
Corvette.
Whoa! Did you see the margin?
No.
Look at the margin at the finish line. So let's try to find some interesting cars to line up against. Both roll racing and drag racing tonight. Should be fun. All right, this beautiful black C7 Corvette. It's got a Paxton supercharger on it. I like the C7 Corvette body style. It's a good looking car. You can see it's got Nitto NT555 R2 drag radials on here. Triple nickels. Our next roll race is against this Paxton supercharged Corvette C7.
No surprise there, BMW taking the win, but still at a whopping 3 miles an hour.
All right, we have Andrew with the Tesla Plaid going up against, what is this? That's a actually Corvette.
And I'm gonna let him have the hit. Let him get out on me a little bit here. I think he's running in the 130s, and even when I ease into it like that, I'm still running in the 140s, so it's not going to be that close of a race. Might be a little bit interesting if we drag race later on, although I'm definitely going to need to give him the hit. I think he's more interested in a drag race than this roll, but he was the quickest car I could get lined up with. Thank you. So in that run we did 150.6 miles an hour. Strangely, that was our fastest mile an hour of the night so far, and he ran 130.5, and I crossed the finish line 0.68 ahead of him, even after giving him a bit of a move there to get going, get the jump on me. Seems like there's a big gap out here tonight. You got a ton of cars that are doing like 135 and under. That's the majority of the cars out here. Then you got a few cars that are running well over 160. In fact, I'm not sure I've seen too many cars run 160s. I saw a guy run 169, and then it's 170s and 180s. But between 140 and 165, I don't think I've seen any other, not really any other cars, maybe one or two, but none that I've been able to get lined up with. Fun run. Oh, I gave you a bit of a jump, but
what did we do?
Not enough. Well, you had
Ever meet Andrew?
Hi, how you doing?
So.
Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
The
Nice
famous
to meet you.
Andrew that does the videos
Wow,
with
okay.
his famous Tesla, the fastest thing
Oh,
around.
the Tesla guy. Okay, now I know who you're
All right,
talking
so
about.
what did we end up?
You were 130.5.
You didn't win that one though, right?
Were you a little faster than the previous one?
150.
You did 130. That was the slow one.
That was actually my fastest run tonight. I was almost all 140s before
Every
that.
time I race you, you tell me that.
You did
I do
130 earlier.
I did 131 earlier.
Yeah.
I felt better with that when the shift points, but
I'm gonna go get something to drink out in the car.
yeah, 107 to 60.
I get you water or something?
Oh, I've got some. Thank you very much, though. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna go grab a water, huh?
So the
All right, we're gonna
strange
do it.
thing on that pass is I let you get out, and I kind of eased into it, and I was expecting one of my lower mile an hour, and I was expecting you to have at least as fast as your previous one. So,
Yeah.
and it's not like wind is a factor or much else, so I can't put my finger on it, but a good run. We'll make it interesting on the drag race later. Give you a solid hit, and I'll look for a spot on the track that I think is like where your back tires cross it, to give you, more like a solid half a second lead. So this Redeye we've run before, Redeye Challenger, and he's got maybe a couple of tweaks here and there. He's obviously got these big Mickey Thompsons on the back on these beadlock wheels. We've raced once before and he ran a 980 in this Redeye, and it's Ezekiel, you might remember. We don't want to get kicked out of here tonight, so we're going to race to the 8th mile, and whoever has the better 8th mile, well, not just the ET, but the
has a better reaction
plus the ET, right? So we'll add them up, and because I mean it won't show winner at the 8th, but we'll know based on the ticket. So 8th mile race, that way we don't get kicked out, and it should be pretty close because you're damn quick, and the tree will make a big difference on the 8th. You know what I mean? So cool. All right, Ezekiel,
all right,
we'll do it. All right, we've got an 8th mile race set up with the Hellcat Challenger, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got some nitrous going in that thing. We're racing just 8th mile. I'm going to go with Plaid Mode. I know he's going to be fast in the low 6s, but I don't think he's going to be a 610. Is nice and sticky right now, so I'm not expecting traction to be a problem. I'm looking forward to this race. I might go to 1,000 feet and then get out of it. I do need a good reaction time here. Here we go. Down. And we got them all day here. And then we're going to get way out of it. I still took him at the quarter mile, not that it matters. I mean, I could have crossed that finish line way earlier. I was on the brakes hard there. I think I had a good 8th mile time. Didn't red light. Slightly curious if I finished the quarter mile ahead of him, but that's not what we agreed the race was, so it doesn't really matter. Thank you. So we did finish ahead even at the finish line. They told me 990 is as fast as I could run. I ran a 994 at 107 miles an hour. I love these time slips where it's like under 10 seconds and barely 100 miles an hour. I was on the brakes hard, as you could probably tell from the video. The Redeye next to me ran a 984 at 141 miles an hour, and that's the kind of ET and mile an hour that could get you a warning out here, but that's between him and the track. Their track, their rules, I guess. But the race was 8th mile. I had an okay tree. I had a .118 to his 366, and then in the 8th mile I ran a 621 at 117.7. Not great. And he ran a 638 at 109.7. Even to 1,000 feet I was there in 8 seconds, and he was 8.25 seconds. So interesting, fun run. It's about as fast as we can go without getting in trouble out here, unfortunately. Good run. That was a drag race, man.
Huh?
That was a drag race. That was fun.
I mean, I had a little bit delay in the takeoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw your reaction is usually better than that.
Yeah,
but looks like even if we left evenly.
1.5. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I mean, I have done 146.
Okay. Yeah, mine wasn't good either. I don't know why I was so slow. I mean, that's rare that I have a 620 in the 8th mile, but 620 to 630.
I mean, you got that
close.
quick. I mean, at this mile per hour.
117. Oh yeah, that's funny.
107.
Yeah, I was on the brakes hard.
Yeah, I know.
Did you see?
I mean,
You were doing almost 35 miles an hour more than me at the finish line.
yeah, because I mean, I wanted to try it because the first pass I did, at 130 miles, it cut me off.
Yeah.
The RPM, the speedometer.
Oh, okay.
So I changed the mode, so that's why I went all the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're pretty close to what their limit is out here. They say 990 at 145, so you're under 145, and you're right around 990, so you're good. But if I would have stayed in it, I'd have probably had like a 950.
Yeah.
And also 140 something. You know, in the roll racing, I hit 150 a couple times. So
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, we were having fun.
yeah, we're absolutely having fun. And I mean, that made it competitive because we were only a 1/10 of a second off in the 8th mile, 620 to 630. So
The miles is
Yeah.
more tighter
yeah,
than a total mile.
yeah. But fun race, man. I'm glad we did it.
All right.
As always, a pleasure, Ezekiel.
Likewise.
All right, man. See you.
Thinking you got to give me the hit and you got to give me something.
Yeah.
I mean, 7/10 is, you know, when you're itching to go, 7/10 is going to feel like a lot.
Yeah. I'll figure it out.
Want to race One-Eyed Joe in the right lane.
I mean, if you want to stage your back tire, but I think it's going to buy you too much on top of the head. I'm thinking more like I let your back tire completely clear the tree, which is out in front of us. You know what I mean? So you're like fully out. That's probably close to a second. But you know what I mean?
You know what? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's see where it ends up. If we decide it's too much, we'll do another one.
Cool.
If you're not going to have anybody else to run,
Not
I
so
do want to
far.
get one against you.
Yeah. All right, next we're running this supercharged C7 Corvette. He's got a Paxton blower in there. We're gonna run Plaid Mode, and I agreed to give him a generous head start.
I can't wait to see this thing run. Now, just a reminder,
Now this isn't gonna be very scientific, but the objective here is that I let him get out to 30 feet, halfway to the 60-foot cone. It'll be a generous head start. When I'm giving somebody a hit or any kind of a lead, I stage differently. There's no reason to be shallow staged, may as well be deep staged, because I'm not going for a reaction time. My reaction is based on their car. So, let's see if I can let him get to 30. There we go.
Andrew, with the Tesla Plaid channel, is going up against a C7 Corvette. Andrew, he feathered it and still went 9.9 and braked early too.
If I can let him get to 30 feet, there he goes. All right, that's about right. Once again, I was on the brakes hard there. So I'm thinking I probably ran around a 10.0 roughly. But of course I gave him a generous move, which we'll see on the reaction times, probably half a second. Hey there. Thank you. Let's see how close I came to the predictions. Wow, I gave him more than 0.7 of a second, about 3/4 of a second actually, based on the numbers here. I ran a 993 at only 104 miles an hour. He ran a 1084 at 129.1 miles an hour. Interesting time slip in a number of ways. But I didn't run afoul of the restrictions to not run below 990. And my 104 mile an hour trap speed certainly isn't going to raise any eyebrows out here. What made that race fun for me is to set parameters and then see how close I could come to those. So, different kind of race, but fun nonetheless. For those of you wanting to see this car run flat out, we'll be doing that in just a few days. We'll be going out to Orlando this week, and they let us run flat out. We'll be running some 9.2s and 9.3s at 150 plus mile an hour. But at this track, 990 is the fastest they'll let us run. Unless we're roll racing, and then we can do whatever we want, as fast as we want. I can't make any sense of it. I think we're pretty close to what we were trying to do, huh?
Did you give me 30 feet?
I did. You'll see it on the video.
All right.
But I gave you 3/4 of a second. Did you see the difference between the reactions?
I did.
You had a great reaction, by the way. An 04, awesome.
Yeah, it was.
And I ran a 0.8, which was 7.62 seconds behind you. So more than a little more than 3/4 of a second.
What did you win by?
0.15.
So you need to give me another 10 feet.
Yeah, well, I was right there at the limit of what I can do, because
Yeah,
right, 990 is my limit, and I ran 993.
Yeah, no,
So it was right in there.
You did it perfect.
Say again?
No, I said you did what you had to do. It's amazing. What do you do? Just let off at the 8 so that you can get a 9.9?
No, I went hard to the 1,000-foot cone. There's a cone at 1,000 feet, and then I get hard on the brakes. Which, if you're thinking about it, is probably one of the least safe ways you can run out here. Totally unsafe because, you know, normally when I'm doing 150, I let the car settle before I get on the brakes hard. But to go right from hard acceleration to hard braking, the way it loads up the suspension, you don't want to be doing that. But yet that's what I got to do because they tell me to get out of it.
I saw you hit it hard.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it turned out pretty good. You won by what, a 1/10 and a half?
Yeah.
And I had the best line I could cut. So.
Yeah, 129.
All right, you need to get somebody else to race. I need somebody closer to me.
What was your best mile an hour tonight?
129.
129, and that's where you got that race
Yeah,
as well.
same there. I'm going to jump out.
Well, it's fun. Thanks, Steve.
Always a good time, Andrew. Thank you.
All right, we couldn't find another dance partner, so we're going to run the Paxton supercharged C7 Corvette again. But this is going to be a real precision race. All right, the agreement on this race is that I got to leave 0.8 of a second after him. If I leave anything less than 0.8 of a second after him, then I lose. So last race, it was like 0.75 seconds. That would lose. So I got to leave 0.8 seconds after him, and I need to run a 990 or higher. And of course, I need to cross the finish line first. So a lot of parameters on this one. Okay, gotta wait till he gets there. Gotta wait till he gets to a certain point there, maybe. those parameters make for a really tight window. See, if I wait too long at the starting line, say a whole second, then I'm going to have to run faster than a 990 to catch him. The only way to win that race is to leave at about 0.8 seconds after him. Thank you. Oh, he red lit. Did he do that just to throw me off? A lot of times people red light to throw me off. Okay, well, I got the first parameter right in that I left 0.8 of a second after him, but I ran a 969, so staging lanes are closed, and I'll just put my tail between my legs and get out of here. Let's check in with Steve here real quick.
I was going to be leaving.
Did you red light on purpose?
Now let's see. You had an 8.
I did okay on the first parameter. I left more than 0.8 of a second after.
I thought if he's not giving me that extra 10th, I'm taking it. Yeah. I didn't plan that. But
you know what happened as a result?
Oh,
I know, no. I totally broke out. So I lose on that because the agreement is that I run 990 or
well, I went red. I lost. No, I didn't mean to do that to you because don't they give you a bit of a hassle with this?
Well, the staging lanes are closing, so I'm not showing my face over there again tonight.
All right. I got to tell you this. Oh, well, you have that on.
That's okay. I can edit things out.
That's my best pass ever.
Oh, is it? Okay,
So,
I didn't look at your side of the slip.
It's 10.70. I wanted.
Oh, nice. At 130.5, that's a good pass.
Yeah, that was good.
Whoa! Did you see the margin?
No.
Look at the margin at the finish line. Double O.
Oh man!
I didn't realize it was that close. 007. James Bond, man.
Listen, I mean, we know for next time. If I even hit a perfect light,
yeah,
you know, I need a little bit more from you to make it work.
Right, but the 969 is you know, not part of the arrangement. I was supposed to run a 990 or higher.
So we both broke out for what we were supposed to do. That means next time I see you, we got to do it again.
Okay, so you broke out, you know, on the red light by 0.14, and I broke out on the ET by 0.2.
Import.
That would have been a heck of a race.
Worse than you had. So yeah, we kind of met in the middle
right,
there.
So I think we have the right formula to how much you give me.
Yeah.
So next time, let's both do it right. And that's going to be closer than 075.
Yeah, and unless you get a little faster, crank your boost up a little bit, change your pulley or something.
The thing is, I can do that, but if the temperature stays here, this is what I can run.
Yeah.
And it's going to get cooler out here. I want that 1.6, but you know what, Andrew? I always have fun racing.
That's a good pass. That's a lot of fun.
So the crazy thing about that run wasn't just that we crossed the finish line 0.007 of a second apart, virtually at the same moment, but that we were doing about 10 miles an hour different at that. I mean, it's one thing to match the guy's speed and beat him by just a bumper, but to do it at a 10 mile an hour differential, that's pretty nuts. What a run.
This time slip is interesting in a number of ways. I did really close to what I wanted to do on the reaction time, 0.86. We said 0.8 of a second after he left, but he red lit, and we didn't talk about what a red light would mean, whether that means winning or losing, but he did red light. And then of course I ran faster than the 990 target time. Thankfully that was my last run of the night, and they can't kick me out if I'm already leaving, right? So not sure how we'll rule that one. Win, lose, or draw. Maybe a draw. And we'll try to get it just right next time. But when you've got fast cars like these that are pretty much point and shoot, I mean, we pretty much all got automatic transmissions out there. Manuals are easily less than 1 in 10, maybe less than 1 in 20 out there. These cars are pretty much point and shoot. Automatic transmissions, traction control, the rest of it. As long as you've got your tires where they need to be for traction, you just line up and hit the go pedal. So skill comes in when it comes to things like obviously reaction time and trying to hit very specific numbers, whether it's at the end of the track to stay above a certain time or below a certain mile an hour, or when there's staging considerations like giving the other guy the move, things like that. That's where some of the skill starts to play in, and it certainly makes it a little more challenging, a little more interesting. So it was a lot of fun tonight. I'm glad we got to make those runs, and I'm glad that the only run that could have got us in a little bit of trouble was the last one, and we're on our way out of there anyway. But in case you're wondering, yeah, we did pedal on that last run. I was not flat out from start to finish. If I had been, we would have been closer to 150 miles an hour and probably below a 9.5, even though we're at 60 something percent. I think we left the track at 67%. Fun night of racing. Those roll races, drag races, working within the parameters for the most part. And we'll be out at Orlando next time, running flat out, quarter mile. We'll be running 920s, maybe some 930s, all over 150 miles an hour this week. So we've got that, and then showtime on Wednesday as well, flat out in the 8th mile. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next time right here on the Tesla Plaid channel.